Well, I'm filming this one pretty late, you guys. It's about 4 minutes to 2 a.m. I just got done watching this movie called The Last Tree. Came out 2019, though Rotten Tomatoes tells me it came out in 2020. So when I upload this video, I'll probably put it as a 2020 release because I think that'll get more attention. And plus I swore I found this movie through Rotten Tomatoes recently. They always do these lists, and I like the lists that they assemble. They have a ton of them on their site from Amazon Prime movies that are recommended to other stuff. But yeah, this movie I was happy to hear about it, and it doesn't have too many ratings here. It has a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes, but it's missing that seal of approval that they do, I guess the certified fresh thing, because it's only got 40 reviews. It's even got less audience reviews here on Rotten Tomatoes, only 33 with a 69%. IMDb, it's similar story, 6.2 out of 10, 527 ratings for it. This movie's directed, written by Shola Amoo, and apologies in advance if I mispronounce any of these names here. Kudos to all of them in advance as well, because right off the bat, this movie's a masterpiece, you guys. This was a real pleasant surprise. Actually, looking at the poster to this movie, it reminds me of another drama character study that I loved. It's called Take Shelter, with Michael Shannon, Jessica Chastain. Obviously, that's a very different movie, but I'd relate it to that movie in the sense that, well, first off, the poster, like the background for the poster almost reminds me exactly of the poster for Take Shelter, except that poster sort of got Michael Shannon and his family on the front, whereas it's got our lead actor here, Samuel Adewumi. I'm not sure if, again, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that name, but Sam Adewumi, he's wonderful in this movie. He plays this character Femi, and there's also a young actor. There's a younger Femi, played by Ty Golding. Both actors are wonderful. The younger version of this character Femi, he takes up the first act of this film, the first half hour. This film is very short too. This film is only an hour 38 minutes. So it's very quick, very to the point. It gets in, gets out. It doesn't meander, doesn't waste your time. Some shots, linger with the character. But that's a testament to the fact that this is a character study more than, a straightforward narrative. I just watched Mark Kermode's review of it for this channel on YouTube that I just subscribed to called BFI. I presume that's some sort of film festival or whatnot, film channel of some sort. But yeah, this movie was deeply surprising because the first half hour, it was kind of, it took me a while to vibe with this movie, to get in the flow of things. At first I was sort of frustrated, but that's the point that the filmmaker here is trying to prove, and like I believe I previously said, because my mind is just mush these days, but this is a semi-autobiographical tale, about this kid. I'll read the description here on IMDb. After a happy childhood in the countryside, and the countryside that they're talking to, they got a more descript version here on Rotten Tomatoes I'm looking at now. The Last Tree follows the story of Femi, a British boy of Nigerian heritage who, after a happy childhood in rural Lincolnshire, moves to inner London to live with his mum. Struggling with the unfamiliar culture and values in his new environment, teenage Femi has to figure out which path to adulthood he wants to take and what it means to be a young man in London. And I found this movie deeply moving, very well acted. This wonderful actor here who plays the teenage version of Femi here, he is absolutely phenomenal. I'm not sure what is going on with award shows like the Oscars or what have you, but Mark Kermode makes an excellent comparison between this movie and the excellent Oscar-winning movie with Mahershala Ali. I always mix up that guy's name, Mahershala Ali. I feel like I'm missing syllables or whatnot every time I say his name, but I hope I get his name right because I love him. And just like Mahershala Ali in Moonlight and the other actors in that movie as well, Sam Adewunmi is absolutely majestic in this role. You know, he you can always sense a great actor. At least I can sense a great actor by when they aren't exchanging dialogue, when they're just simply telling what the character's feeling in the moment through just a look on their face. And literally this actor's got such a expressive face, and all the actors for that matter here are so natural, so human, and just warm and welcoming. I mean, this is a marvelous movie. This movie's a masterpiece. I'm definitely gonna mark this down as a 2020 movie because it started streaming in the middle of this year. Those that were lucky enough to see this, I guess, in 2019 must have seen it at some film festivals, like I reckon this BFI thing that I just heard about today. I reckon they must have seen it through that festival, if it even is a festival. I'm not sure. I didn't do enough digging on this movie because I wanted to get my thoughts out on video. And by the end of this movie, I found this to be a very euphoric experience because you go through these stages throughout this movie, like this character. You grow with him. You feel like you go on this adventure with him, and every character has a nice little arc in some way. Except for a few troublemakers in this. Like there's this great character that I liked called Mace, who is sort of like the troublemaker. He's always he's played by this great actor Demi Ladipo. Everybody here is great. Denise Black plays Mary, the sort of adoptive mother of Femi, younger Femi at the start of this movie. She's terrific. Nicholas Pinock here as Mr. Williams. He has a brilliant scene with actor Sam Adewunmi at one point in this movie. That was the first scene that had me tearing up. And big kudos to the lovely lady playing the mother in this film, because boy oh boy, at first I found myself outright hating this character. Her name is I just know I'm gonna butcher her name here, unfortunately. Jimisula Ikumelo. But yeah, she's a beautiful actress and writer apparently as well here, according to IMDb, even a director too apparently as well. A very talented actress, beautiful lady as well. She's got this like great set of hair on her that made me jealous being a balding guy myself. And yeah, she's terrific here as Femi's mother. At first I couldn't stand her as a character, but of course as the movie progresses, you sort of learn what the deal is with her, and you grow to appreciate her. And just, you know, because this movie's taking place from Femi's perspective, so the filmmakers or the filmmaker here in this case, the director writer, does a marvelous job at putting you in the shoes of this kid. And the kudos goes as well out to the cinematographer here, the person responsible for the score. And a funny, interesting thing about this movie too, a couple days back I watched the movie Starter for 10, British movie as well. And that movie had a lot of songs by The Cure, a part of that movie's soundtrack. And in this movie there's one Cure song that they use at one point that I thought was so ingenious, so effective, so beautiful. And yeah, that really describes this movie for me. This was a beautiful experience that brought me back to feeling like when I was a kid. You know, it brought back, especially by the end of this movie, when our main character's reflecting on his childhood. It had me reflecting back to my childhood and how much I enjoyed spending time out in the country away from the madness of city life. And just the peace and tranquility that you get through you know, just watching the landscape and the beautiful sky and how you can see the stars at night, whereas in the city everything just sort of is neon nightmare madness. You can't even see the stars. There's so much cloud in the sky and it just all blurs together. And yeah, I feel like I'm gonna repeat myself so much, if like my other reviews, if I keep rambling on here. But I really wanted to talk about this movie with you guys. I feel like this is an absolute must watch. If I'm counting this as a 2020 movie, it's easily by a wide margin the best movie I've seen from this year. Movies that I've seen previously from this year, such as The Outpost and Sonic, both of those movies were phenomenal in their own right, in my opinion at least. But this movie is without a doubt the best movie that I've seen in 2020, quite possibly the best movie that I will see in 2020. It will be very hard for another movie to affect me as much as this film affected me, personally, emotionally. I was about to say physically, but like what was I doing? Jumping back in my seat. I was literally screaming at the screen at one point whenever the mother was on screen. You know, I was just like, oh, like if only you realized this, your son wouldn't be like this. And I was frustrated, but again, that's a testament to the filmmaker here. He's done a marvelous job at making you sympathize with this character. And it's just a very authentic movie. And it brought me back as well to a movie that I listed on my my least favorite movies top 10 or bottom 10 list. It reminded me of this American Honey movie. And, you know, it had me reflecting on that movie and how overrated that movie is, how pretentious that movie is, how it tries to be authentic, and yet it comes across as wholeheartedly phony. You know, that's a movie that also benefits from, like this, from having great performances, great cinematography. I love the aspect ratio of that movie. 4:3, I think it is. It's that box format. Literally, my camera just did the box around my face as soon as I did that. That movie also has a very unique way of incorporating modern songs into its soundtrack that I thought was unique. But other than those little cherries on top, I thought that movie was complete dreck. The characters were stereotypical, caricatures. Like they almost had no dimension to them outside of the main character. And yeah, everything that I hated about that movie, from its long-winded runtime to its pretentious dialogue, everything that I hated about this movie totally reversed when it comes to The Last Tree. Uh, if I had any complaints to make, I'm hard pressed to think of even one, in all honesty, because every frustration that I had early on with this movie was gone by the end of it. And I feel like a lot of people that are probably giving this middling reviews, like I mentioned, it's got like a 6 out of 10 average. I feel a lot of these people that give it that middling sort of score would probably need some time to reflect on this movie, to let it wash over them, and you know, maybe revisit this film if you think it's like a 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10, somewhere around there, because this film is one that I would love to revisit someday to see how it holds up. And quite frankly, I think it'll hold up pretty damn well. And yeah, I'm happy to be talking about it with you guys. I highly recommend this movie. I'd give it a perfect score, of course, 10 out of 10 for this movie, easily. This movie's a surefire masterpiece, absolutely euphoric movie, brilliant filmmaking here. You guys definitely seek this one out, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care, everybody.